with a year China Mall. Ewo Ghana, you see, Ejatum. Now, fire destroys China City Mall in Kumasi, and me video no, I saw the pictures, the aftermath, and I'm one person. I'm Makacha Ghana for say, this China Mall. We need to put an end to it. I actually spoke about this intensively or extensively, but Ghana for no, it do sometime be a edifudia pe and I say a free a day, and na ye nipe be a ye pa the fu ade fu ye pa the fu inti ya bra but majority of us no ye ntumi nkoso and west there ye na ye ho kire Ghana pa na ye pa ade a fu me ka kire Ghana for a few weeks ago or roughly maybe a month or two ago say a market na we Ghana no betumi jane na so a we need to make sure we curb down the spread of China malls. And we check here. They are putting the China malls next to our market centers. The busy market centers are Yene Ghana for Eko Hokodija. Now, this accident, and I said this fire destruction ya yuhune wi ewa santimemu. I say China mall ejatom na senia ashono. I want us to go watch the video. We are now you did in Komobi. This is the China mall I see ejatom no. Now, near you know, it is a China mall na Kumasi no ba kwashi. Now, so share pictures, so now share a year building now in less than I can say an hour. It to me share any building, beer, yeah, the brick, mortar, building, beer, safety. Are there a friend safety? Are there a friend what we call a year quality control and assurance? Eko muna. What you are seeing there was already a death trap. Now, the reason why into China more we ejato moi a few minutes. It me share a car skeleton, a year alumi kwansi wanna say every single thing in that mall is synthetic. A debia ne ewo mall biano a highly flammable. A debia ode a ben a jar. It will not take more than 2 seconds. Ijabesuma ebeshi. Whatever you want to say, highly inflammable. Now, they see what China Mall hona as a big facility say nka yeto blocks say lay foundation say you see say a structure that in the first place you ma building engineers ebe inspect ye quality assurance for be inspect ye how fire resistant it is, and I say how it can resist any kind of damage to say ya. Menya sure say this building will burn down to this level. Okono say just aluminium frames in Kwanaka. Now the reason why I'm making this point and then I say there are two things here. It could be genuine. It could be say electrical problem. It could be say obina mistake in a jatoho, and it could be say the Chinese themselves decided to burn this down for insurance reasons. Me, kakrabe who are Chinese for no. They are good people to do business with, but you cannot underestimate any Chinese. And I'm one person, I'm so much into countries trading amongst each other. But what I don't like is countries taking advantage of other countries because of trade. And maybe because of their strength when it comes to economic strength, when it comes to trade and business. Now, what I saw in this NNSA, first of all, that facility now we see as a China Mall, it was a death trap. So facility way one day ankebe dwire gum ama nipa mu nyina bewu. I can assure you for a fact to say the building contractors, engineers, to go and check this structure and all the China malls in Ghana. You check a structure in here, none of them should exist in Ghana today. Say Ghana, di emraso. Send you to me around ebubunko for dangu say we diner will see a dino non so the road shaha or sanko or making sure say the quality of cement also making sure say this particular specs way has to anke the be China mall say what Ghana musia spread here. We will have to close all of them down. There are people who can testify. Say sa China malls no nemua e say wonam earthquake zone. Unimu say a dino was so shaky. They know. I'm to Kumasi, I'm to crying, I'm to around the nation. Or China, you be China Mobiana room now. You could see you are walking on plastic. And I will not be surprised to say this thing you are seeing here, Siashino, Assassin, they did not buy it, they just leased it. And the idea in United say they are just putting some structure on to make their money to take to China, and whatever happens next, they don't care. I am talking about Chinese who can come into your country and destroy your water just like that, and they don't care. Even when you are putting EMRA in place, cautioning your citizens, the Chinese are still in your forest. Some of them still don't even care about the laws now. With jail. So if the Chinese can enter your country, destroy your water, destroy your forest, and even at the point where you are telling them to stop going after them, they are still doing it. Building something like this with fake materials, it is high. And what we just saw here, we need to now go after the institutions that are supposed to make sure. I will not be surprised to say that thing they call China Mall, there's nothing like fire extinguisher. There's nothing like an exit point. There's nothing that will protect anybody if this facility or whatever they have built, calling it a mall, caves in. Nobody will survive tomorrow. I am telling you, you might not like me. Matina catch them so many times. The Chinese, to say when Jimmy, they will take advantage of you. That is the Chinese. Omo Dawson. To say Nigeria for. And you won't say, yeah, Africa cry. People think, say, Nigerians they don't have compassion for people. Nigerians can do harm to their brothers. When the Nigerians come to a country, it is because they are many. And they need to survive. And what you think that is dangerous, you don't want to get into, a Nigerian will get into it because they are looking at the risk, a 50-50 risk. They don't care to make sure they get something and lose a family member or a friend. They don't care. They are always trying to survive. And that is how the Chinese are. The Chinese are basically a quarter of the world's population, if I'm not wrong. So these people are not people that when you are dealing with them, you leave anything to go. You just make sure you do what? You cross your T's and dot your I's. And what I saw today, the Chinese just built a death trap. They themselves decided to light it up because they are beginning to see, say, their market is dropping. The level of purchase at Ghana for right now, they are beginning to know, say, the kind of things they sell, Ghanaians are beginning to know, say, they are not things that can last. So they are now seeing, say, maybe the amount of imports they are making losses. Don't underestimate the Chinese. I love them as humans. And we do business with them. They help Ghana. We help them sometimes. But we need to also always put our interests first. The same way the Chinese will put their interests first in any business they do with us. Because the Chinese will not allow a Ghanaian to come to China and do galamsey. If you are even a Ghanaian businessman and you want to build a factory in China, I am very sure they will not allow you to build such a structure in China for Chinese citizens to come in and shop. They will make sure the building you put together or whatever building you have your shop in is building that is strong enough to protect its citizens. What you just saw here is a death trap that got bent. And we need to hold our leaders accountable. I saw the KAMA boss hugging the lady, the Chinese owner. That's fine. But the question you need to be asking yourself is, how did this building look at the things left behind? Show the skeleton of the building. This is a death trap. And they have these things scattered around the nation. They don't care if a mall caves in today and 10,000 people die. They don't fucking care. It is your country, it is your government that is supposed to force them to do the right thing. If you sit there and they take advantage of you, at the end of the day, it's so because say, I have a problem with white people because they enslaved our forefathers. I can never have a problem with the white man Because when the white man came, you also had your land. You had every right to protect your land, not to allow them to lie to you. And it is the same. If you allow yourself, the Chinese to come in, if you like bribes, they'll pay you the bribe. If you are not intelligent enough to know that you need to protect your nation, they don't care because their nation is protected. So what you now deporting or chrome, and that place or clean water to drink, or everything at their disposal. That is what I am talking about. This burning of the China Mall. We need a fire service to conduct investigations. We need a quality assurance to come in. The Ghana Engineers Architect Association, they need to go in there and conduct investigation. Why should such a thing be called a mall? Why should such a structure be allowed? People be allowed to enter it in thousands. Why should we allow this to happen in Ghana? Because yet Kroma and Amokacha say we are not supposed to build with inferior stuff. We are not supposed to do this. The reason why I do it in less than 2 hours is because every single thing in there is plastic. The reason why it's here in the Ghana, it just took time within 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, fire service didn't do it is because majority of our people are patronizing synthetic things from these China malls. Obako obi dem wardrobe it's made out of synthetic material. A TV stand, synthetic material. Akonyo teso, synthetic material. Ube run a carpet, synthetic material. Every single thing in that room is synthetic. Sani pano, jaw to crack the whole building will go down in 10 seconds. First, no na a dying shit. A jet to be to obisi, Oba corona in Konya, a bit of who a just should be, Emma, you can see, say, the wood is still alive. Like you could see, say, in Riani Biwoho. A jet to be shit dying, Uber run out wardrobes to be half a shit. It takes time for buildings to burn. But then it takes less than an hour. Now a whole building is gone down because our system, we have allowed these people to push a lot of things that catches fire easily into the system. In the end, we 10 rooms in Ghana, if you be a 9, a jet toma, answer the fire service into a diner shegu form. That is a fact. Hardly, Senka China Morwe, Senka Sebio Menoka say, Senka a brick and now blocks and you see Sadan way and everything in it. Basically, it was built with solid material. And the thing just bent down like I had to say rubber. Our system is weak. When I was watching the thing, I felt bad because imagine Nani Pagum and a Janus Somu. And the bugumu within 10 minutes go be a besi. Yes. Adewi. Nanka nipa gum ne buguma 10 minutes go be a besi. I wish Mr. P, Mr. S, can you get me when it was actually burning? Tamana Eshino. Maybe some chremo, maybe video ni chremo. Eja tomuno. You saw the rate at which it was burning. Mr. P, get me the video of there are other videos out there. Who see be a Eshino, but I say again pa ne was some more we more to say every 2 seconds be obi the petrol gum. It is because a dear be a womubiano. Are not things that are supposed to be sold in homes. Let's get serious. Your market or garden, and I keep hearing this government. Recently, I heard the government saying that they are going to build an ultra-modern market at Aflao. They are building some markets around the nation. And the Kejetia, life at Kejetia, and the majority of Ghana force and Kejetia, they don't go there again because they have seen another place where it is cheap and inferior. And as a nation, if we allow that to happen, our markets, say, you say, me no kasi obi tikeje di matem me protecting the juma, but we jiminti on tiasie. We jiminti onim nyansa onim dia make no. Majority of nipa na omoko keje market and they swat to bear 40%. Why? Because they are going for inferior stuff. They are going for cheap stuff. They are going to the China malls because you allow the Chinese to bring in inferior stuff. The funny thing is, Obibaga say, oh, but such China mall, no, omu create Juma. Let me tell you one thing. When you go to these China malls, Ghana for more China malls holding you know. Obianiwa or you're part of management. They are the position park with your supervisor. None of them get close to real company document or anything. Omo never employ any Ghanaian above supervisor job. No. Even supervisor, no, they give you a limit. We are supervisor, you are supervisor on a Ghana forum and it's so disheartening. So Oko China malls we are the rate at which they use a Ghana forum you see them every day. And you see, the Labor Commission knows all these people who work at these China malls are paid below the minimum wage. We know. Because we don't have a lot of work or people are not employed in this nation, the Chinese are taking advantage of us. China malls around the nation, they are paid below minimum wage. And the Chinese are always using us. 99% of the malls in Ghana, China malls, or credit card. Their operations, basically 99% of the operations, transactions, and physical cash. They take hard currency. Because they don't even want to take through a credit card or through any electronic means for the government to even take its share. Because obi the card to adia, I buy any TB. Obi the card to adia, I buy no bank card ni free no bank enyam faso, I buy no enyam faso through Bank of Ghana. Taxes no. The Chinese will tell you say omni machine yejuma ko kabra. And you people know it's happening because at the end of the day, what they do is they pile the money, convert it into dollar and take it to China. And they are not going to go transfer the money at the Bank of Ghana because they'll be questioned. What they do is they smuggle that money out of the nation through our borders. And these are people who are stabbing us in the back. And let me tell you, I am open for business. I am open for nations having business with other nations. But what I am not open to is people taking advantage or countries taking advantage of other countries. And that is what the Chinese are doing. Yet, and Lebanese for buy at least Malcolm for that, we saw at least the quality stuff Malcolm they were selling to us. We have lived with Malcolm and some other Lebanese companies for a very long time. We know, said the kind of things they were bringing where things are almost free other nations to say, maybe India and Pakistan in countries, But at least they were durable. But this China more people, these Chinese, now, Monshe Sibia Adian and tell me, say, this more, it Adia Shi.
No inside of our side, it's a Ghana fire service. More far than the same runner. Whether be a condemned to grab, we now don't make me up for the people. I say, I'm going to make fashion. I'm going to make fashion. I'm going to make fashion. Then I know I should pop. Helpless.
Ejawi, I'm one a shimono. Chinese for an shino. They say, now Ejawi start here no. Fire extinguisher near you more. At least a gin sem cry. See the rate, Shejano. And then Yanyan Kwarasa, Omo because they know what they are doing. Omesa Komwamo banks wanna acquire billions. Omu Yomesa BC. Give them 4 months. This thing, they'll put it back together. And the funny thing is, this inferno you just saw is people deliberately did it. They know. They set it up. I'm going to say Jimmy and we will fall for it. This is the time the KMA boss, the Ashanti regional minister, they need to call for investigations. Adebia is a friend of China Mon from Sa National from the beginning of its building. The safety, the fire escapes, the exit, they need to call for investigations. Because this thing you are seeing like that, it's in the middle of the city. Where a pure arson. It's arson. They decided to burn it down. Now, Jimmy, we will sit there and let these people beat us again. We are getting closer to Christmas. What they need to get, they are not getting. You might say that Kevin is being inhumane. Kevin does when the woman was crying. I like her. She's a nice woman, but she can't take advantage of the system because sa dear way, sa box way, sa a rubber dear way they see or say a mono ni chrome yen. They are not going to allow any Ghanaian. Ekrobia and Kamamue, she's under investigations right now. This the owner of this mall. Anka Ekrobia anka anadwin ke to tunano. Ekrobia is serious bia anka a regional minister a KMA boss and come after police me to tunano because a day now this see some more way. A day safety measures the komu. In case this idea we see and doors the lock here and a nipa guma and can nipa 2 and go so yes. Ebia by mistake. And an electric electric gate. And a basano, a jamia into Mimbia. Within 10 minutes, what are you telling me? This is not a joke. They need to investigate this woman. You need to close down all the China malls in Ghana. I've advocated for that. I was in Ghana a few weeks ago. Namakra, Mefa baby is where China mall. Oko East Lagos is China mall. Me say, Oba bezi sinyo mafumbi okronim na eni eti Ghana na Jimmy, and we are entertaining this foolishness. Ma can't mu. Mujari nyina abegu. Omo galamsey no jai. They are not going to get into galamsey again. Omo musa muni abre. Munya mo bechi omegum. They are not going to go to Gala inside again. They are now going to go after mo markets. Monina muda kwesi Nigeria force na ayarega the group B targeting nipa ba ko mienu miensa bi. We understand the Nigerians are also taking advantage of the system. But let's look at who and who. Why na taking advantage of the system? The Chinese. Go to Makola. The Chinese are all over the place. Ghana phobia is selective. Let's go after Nigerians. Let's go attack Nigerians. Abosio Kain, Nigerians have spare power shop. How many Nigerians have spare power shop in Abosio Kain? And how many Chinese have big shops in Kantamanto? What kind of nonsense is that? What kind of nonsense is that? Nigeria anticipate at least they are here with us. We can deal with them. Now, what about these people? We see them. They are doing this. We see it. Let's go after the low-hanging fruit. Nigeria for the I don't condone Nigerians coming here and working or doing business illegally. But if you want to stop this, let's look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is the Chinese, the Asians. Let's stop being hypocritical. Let's stop being foolish. Number one, Yaragalo did Dingophobia, Yako demonstration, Nigeria 434. Yes, if they are not doing the right thing, we need to get them off. But we need to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that Chinese have dominated our market, and our market our market is dying because Chinese are bringing in inferior goods. The Chinese are not supposed to do what they are doing.